Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded our conversation on the Zoom screen. It is Extension Office Friday as you are listening. So that means Stacy Swain is on the Zoom screen with me. She is with the Warren County Office of Virginia Cooperative Extension, and Stacy manages the Warren County 4-H program. And Stacy, you haven't been on in a while, but I do know 4-H has continued on.
Yes, we've been still moving forward. Obviously, things are a little different, but we're still carrying forward with our 4-H programs and programs that we offer.
I know that we're going to talk today about a new program that you're doing called Winterfest 2021. But before we get into the details of that, how has it worked with 4-H? Have you guys been doing a lot of virtual stuff? Have you been able to do anything in person with the kids together in a group?
So we were able to do a few things in person. Thankfully, we were able to hold our 4-H livestock shows and auction in person this year. Obviously, they looked a little different. We weren't able to have them at the Warren County Fair, but we were still able to give those youth an opportunity to showcase their animals and sell them all in person. So that was a good opportunity. We still had a great turnout with the youth participating, a great turnout from the community for support at our livestock auction. So we were very thankful that we were able to fall in that time frame to have the shows during the time we were able to have in-person opportunities.
And then with things like we were talking right before we started recording that you didn't get to do your summer camps this year, but you've done some other things virtually. I mean, the kids can still have their meetings. I'm guessing, are they doing that over Zoom or virtually?
Yeah, so we are still moving forward. We didn't get to have the summer camp. We're hopeful for 2021, but the 4-H program, the clubs are still beating Zoom via Zoom, trying to do things in person as guidelines allow. Community service was a big thing in December for many of our families and clubs. So we did a lot of Salvation Army bell ringing. We did food drive, and we also did adopt a family. So we were still able to do things, 4-H programming, some in person, but a lot of our programs at the current time are on Zoom. So they're meeting during Zoom. We're trying to offer programs online for the kids just to keep them active and engaged in the 4-H program.
And that's one of the unique things I think about 4-H is that it is something that you do in a group with other people, but it's also things that you can do individually, like ringing the bell. So you can still be active and still be involved, even if the situation doesn't necessarily allow for you to do it the way you've always done it.
Yeah, it's definitely a program that's pretty adaptable across the state of Virginia and even across the nation. A lot of 4-H agents have been working together to offer opportunities for the kids to do activities on their own pace or just kind of join in on Facebook Lives or Zoom as they're necessary. And even if they can't join when it's live, a lot of them are still recorded so they can still participate at their own time when it's convenient for them.
Well, and it's just crazy too. One of those things where you could have had kids that were participating because it's virtual now and they're not doing sports and all of these other things that typically competed with it. But at the same time, that's because of the situation that we're in a pandemic.
Yeah, it's definitely a situation that you got to make the best out of it and do what's best for everyone. Another thing, we were thankful right before the governor's orders changed again, we were able to hold an in-person achievement banquet to celebrate the achievements over the past year. Obviously, it didn't look like our traditional achievement banquet, and there were things that we couldn't do, but we were still able to offer those opportunities. So we're still trying to find ways and being creative and unique and make the best out of it to provide those opportunities for the kids, whether it's previous members or anybody that's got a new interest in 4-H because they can't have sports or other opportunities that they traditionally participated in.
What would you normally be doing now in January? Is January normally a planning month anyway, or have you had to completely change what a normal January looks like?
Actually, January is normally a planning month for me. We're just normally starting the planning for our summer camp. So we're still doing that. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we're still planning. And then it's just kind of the starting off of in-school programs and getting the kids, started to think about what their summer is going to look like for livestock animals. So traditionally my January is staying pretty the same as far as what I'm doing. It's just sometimes the methods of the way we're presenting some of the programs, we're having to think different. For example, we traditionally do our Skyline Stockman's contest, and that's a huge in-person livestock judging contest that's held for participants across the state. So obviously we can't have 250 plus kids there, so we're planning differently of how can we still offer this opportunity for the kids. So still kind of the same, just different methods of presenting the information.
Do you think that since the kids, so many of them across our different school districts are doing a hybrid version, some are in class in person, some are doing virtual learning at home, does having more time at home to take care of and manage their animals, do you think that's going to be an added benefit when we come into this new year and we have the livestock show and sales? Are we going to have bigger animals and prettier animals because the kids have had more time to devote to them?
So right now, they're really the only thing they've already got are their market steers that they would be selling at the fair. The smaller animals, the sheep and the goats and the pigs, they haven't purchased those yet. So they're not really, they're thinking about it and planning ahead. They just aren't taking care of them right now unless they're doing something where they've bred and raised them, from birth at their home.
How disappointed were some of the kids when they realized that you weren't going to be able to do some of the things in person the way you'd always done? I mean, did they rally?
Actually, they were very supportive. They were very happy that we were still able to do something in person. Many of the shows across the state were they went to the virtual shows instead of in person. So we kind of talked to them, gave them an opportunity, gave them, the scenario and the situations that things would look differently. We had a few that were disappointed, obviously, a few that decided, the opportunity they couldn't participate this year. But all in all, they were all just grateful that they were able to show and make the most of it, especially those senior members. We had a couple that could have been their last year of showing, and if we'd went virtual, then they would have missed out on that opportunity of showing in person in their last year. But since we were able to adapt and make things work, they were able to give that opportunity, even though it looked a little differently.
Well, I'm sure the kids were a whole lot better at adapting and rallying than their parents were. I think all of us parents are just over the whole thing.
Yeah, and the parents were really good about adapting and pitching in with ideas and helping and just maintaining, social distancing, following the rules and guidelines. It was a really successful event and everybody kind of came together, and I think for the 4-H program at that time, it was a good opportunity to kind of just bring everybody up in spirits, because it was kind of a down year last year, and then summertime came and the kids had already been out of school for so long, so a lot were like, well, we can't go on vacation, what can we do? So it was kind of like okay, here's this opportunity, let's do it and still make the best of it in person.
And that's kind of what I think your hope and your goal is for this new Winterfest. We're going to take a break in a second and get all the details for it when we come back. But it really is a great way for kids to be able to still participate, even if they're not physically coming to the camp for a day or a week, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be our goal is to get as many kids to participate, give them something to do, kind of on their own time. That way we can try to start out the new year with something fun and exciting, not only for the kids, but for us as agents too. I know I was kind of feeling bummed that things couldn't happen. So we got our heads together and thought, okay, let's do this. Let's offer this exciting opportunity for the kids to participate in.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Stacy Swain. She is with Warren County's 4-H program, and we're going to get all of the details for the Clarke Warren 4-H Winterfest 2021. It is going to be a really cool event. Stacy's going to tell us all about it when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. It is Extension Office Friday. So we are on the Zoom screen with Stacy Swain. She is with the Warren County 4-H. That, of course, is is it a subsidiary? Is 4-H a program of the Extension Office? Stacy, how does that hierarchy work?
So we are one of the programs that is offered through Virginia Cooperative Extension.
And then that, of course, is under Virginia Tech. So a lot of times we were talking in the first segment about what you could and couldn't do based on the governor's guidelines. Sometimes it's not even that you individually as the Warren County 4-H get to decide. There are other people that kind of make the rules that filter down to a lot of what you can do.
Yeah, a lot of our 4-H policies and guidelines, COVID related right now, are being based on obviously the governor's guidelines, the CDC, local health departments, but a lot of those decisions are being made at the Virginia State 4-H office, so that it's kind of consistent across the state, and the well-being of everyone is being taken into consideration.
So this Clarke Warren 4-H Winterfest, tell me how you guys came up with that idea and what it is exactly.
So actually I came up with the idea because I was on a Zoom meeting and everybody else was sharing all these wonderful ideas and camps in a box that they had done over the summer. And since our summer camp was canceled and I currently at that time was out on leave, was not able to offer that, I was kind of bummed and feeling like, okay, we need to do something. We need to get these kids involved. We don't know what the summer is going to look like for 2021. So I talked with Claudia and Clarke and I was like, let's try to do a winter box, a Winterfest camp type thing. So we just started talking, we met with our teens, and then kind of the idea just came together and we were like, let's do this. So it is a camp in a box, but we just kind of figured if we call it a camp in a box, that's not really fun, engaging. So we were thinking, Winterfest, let's talk wintertime. Obviously, camp is fun. So just jokingly, we came up with the slogan of camping is so much fun. And it kind of stuck. So that's going to be our theme for our t-shirt designs and kind of the theme that we're going for the whole camp as a whole.
So how will it work? I mean, you've put together these boxes that parents can pick up that they register their kids for. What kind of stuff is going to be in the box?
So they register online, and then after the registration closes, we will have a day where they can come pick up their boxes, or for an additional fee, they can be mailed for those that would rather be mailed to their house. And then in the box, it's going to obviously have a special one-of-a-kind t-shirt from our Winterfest, because that's usually a highlight from our summer camp, is the kids look forward to having a special t-shirt. So we're including that. We're including some special masks in there where the kids can kind of design their own mask. Our hope is, to have camp in person this summer, so then they'll have that special mask they created from Winterfest that they can bring to summer camp to show off. We're going to have some other arts and crafts things in there where they can just do on their own. Some bracelet making supplies. Bracelet making is a big class and a big hit at camp. So we're trying to incorporate things that are winter related, but also those easy camp classes and easy camp activities that the kids enjoy. So that way they can kind of get a taste and hopefully maybe teach someone else or get an interest in something that they necessarily haven't got to experience at camp before.
So when we're talking about kids, what age range are you thinking would be good for this activity?
So traditionally, we're thinking 9 to 13-year-olds because that's usually our camper age. However, 5 to 8-year-olds, they can still do the activities with the assistance of a parent or an older sibling. So really anyone from 5 and up to 13-year-olds. Our older kids, obviously 13 and above, if they are really interested in it and wants to do arts and crafts, then they're welcome to participate as well. Traditionally, the older kids 13 and above are our teens and CITs at camp. So those are the ones that we're going to be utilizing to help with some of the videos and things for our class and for the virtual campfire that we're planning to do.
So how much is the box of activities itself? How much is the ticket price for Winterfest?
So it is $25, and that covers the t-shirt and all the supplies that are needed. Obviously, minor things like scissors or glue, we're not going to provide. We hope that the kids have those at home. But if not, obviously we can help provide those supplies if they're needed. We don't want anybody to not participate because of those.
And what is the deadline for parents to register their kids to get a box?
So the registration deadline is Friday, January the 29th, and then the pickup and payment deadline is February the 5th.
And then is there a specific day that all of this starts, or once they pick up their box, they can kind of start doing some stuff?
So once they pick up their box, it's kind of at their own pace, at their own leisure type thing. And so like the February 5th pickup, that's kind of our kickoff. We're hoping that then kids will share their, pictures with us and things that they've done. And then on Friday, February the 19th, that will be our virtual campfire, where we're going to get the teens and some of our adult volunteers, and Claudia and I will be on, and that will kind of be the ending to this Winterfest 2021, where the kids can share some of the activities that they've done or things that they've learned through this camping opportunity.
And they don't have to already be a member of 4-H. And I understand they don't also have to be in Warren County because you've partnered with Clarke County on this.
Yeah, so they could be a member in Clarke or Warren County resident. If there's someone outside of those counties that's listening and they want to participate, then they're more than welcome. We're just focused on Clarke and Warren because those are the two counties that our 4-H programs serve, but we're open to anyone, and they do not have to be a 4-H member or previously attended summer camp. It's open to any youth that wants to participate. We're always looking for more members, and hopefully if they participate in this Winterfest, they enjoy it, they get a taste of what camp could be like, and then they'll be able to participate in either our 4-H programs or something at one of the other 4-H camps that we offer. So we're always looking for new ways to reach out to the youth and get them engaged in 4-H.
Do I have to get a different kit? Say I have 3 kids or I have 2 kids. Should I get a different kit for each of them?
So we're leaving that flexibility up to the family members. The kit will only contain contents for one child, one activity. If they want to purchase one kit and share amongst all the kids, then that's fine. We are offering additional t-shirts. So if they have 3 kids and they're saying, all 3 kids are going to share the kit, but they each want a t-shirt, then they can purchase the t-shirt separately. But if they've got 2 kids and they really want to do the arts and crafts on their own, then they can purchase 2 kits. So it's kind of at the flexibility of the family.
Well, it certainly makes sense to give the option of getting the extra t-shirts because that's totally what the kids are going to fight over.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that our team said, can we purchase t-shirts? So we were like, yeah, of course. And some people like to have, 2 t-shirts, one to kind of wear around the house and then one to keep nice for going out or for wearing at camp. I know kids can be hard on t-shirts and clothes sometimes, so they might want to have one just so they have one nice to wear when they come to summer camp and can say, here's my Winterfest 2021 camp shirt.
So is online registration the only option that parents have?
So we're encouraging online registrations just because the flexibility is so much easier. If someone doesn't have access to online registration, they can contact our office or contact me through email, and we can send them a paper form that they can print and mail in or make arrangements for them to get registered.
And I will make sure that the link for the registration, your email address, and all of that contact information is on the show notes page. So if somebody's listening right now and they're like, well, that's what I want to do, it's easy enough for them to be able to access it through the podcast page.
Yes, and it's also on our Morgan County 4-H and the Clarke County 4-H Facebook pages.
Now, since you're doing this as a pre-registration, is there a limit to the number of people or boxes or registrations that you can take?
No, we haven't set a limit. We're hoping to at least have 50 participants, but we would love to have more than that. I'm not sure we're prepared for 1,000, but if we get 1,000, we will be super excited. Might be a little overwhelmed, but we haven't set a limit on it.
That's definitely a good problem to have.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it's great that you're doing something like that virtual campfire, because that's one of those cool things on, a cold winter day that really does set the mood with it crackling in the background as the kids are doing their activities.
Yeah, and we picked a Friday evening, so that way, hopefully, not only the child can participate, but the parents or younger members can participate and see what we do at a normal campfire. Obviously, it's not going to be the same as an in-person campfire in the summer, but we're going to make it as real to a traditional Clarke Warren 4-H campfire that we can possibly make it, given the current situation we're in.
Well, and I will remind people, I had this conversation earlier this month, or maybe it was in December, with a guest, that for those that may not realize that if your TV has an HDMI cable or has an HDMI port and your laptop has an HDMI port, if you connect those together, you can actually not have to do your Zoom on your laptop screen. You can send it to the big screen of the TV, which makes it a whole lot easier when you're doing things like this.
Yeah, it does. And I think that's the nice thing about Zoom too is, obviously it's wonderful to see people visually on the screen, but also you can always call in. If you don't have that capability to see you on a laptop or the connections, all you got to do is call in on the number. So you can still hear and experience what's going on. You just won't visually be able to see it.
Yeah, it does make it nice. It's been a help for me because I have some of my guests that work for companies that don't do Zoom. They have Microsoft Teams or they're using something else and Zoom isn't on their approved list. So them being able to just call in on the phone and still meet me on this screen to record the conversation has been a huge help.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, given the current pandemic, we got to do and make the things happen and work the way we can. And there's so many different platforms out there that are good to use, but whatever works the best. And if there's kids that don't have Zoom capabilities and they still want to participate, all they have to do is reach out to us. We're willing to help them and figure out a way for them to participate, to give them this opportunity.
Well, and I will say for that as well, I had Michelle Ross on a couple of weeks ago from Samuel's Public Library, and they have a laptop lending program. So if there is somebody that doesn't even have access to a laptop or Wi-Fi, Samuel's Public Library has several of those that they are lending out at no charge to Warren County residents. So I'll put the link to that podcast in the show notes page as well. So we'll give everybody all the information they need.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were doing that. So that's an awesome opportunity. And I'm sure, there's a family member, someone they could reach out to and help if we need it. And if not, like I said, we'll find a way to allow them to participate in the program if they really want to.
Well, Stacy, thank you for taking some time out of your afternoon to meet me on the Zoom screen today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a while, so I'm excited to be back and to start the new year out with this Winterfest 2021, and fingers crossed that we can have 4-H camp in person. But if not, we plan to definitely offer some type of 4-H camping program this summer for the kids, just so they have something to do and can get back in hopefully the new norm of 4-H camping programs, whatever that may look like.
The new groove.
Yes.
We are going to wrap up our conversation today with Stacy Swain. She is with Warren County's 4-H. Again, all of the links to registration, to her email address, to Claudia's email address at Clarke County 4-H will all be on the show notes page. You can get there by going to theriver953.com and clicking on the podcast tab. I will have it all up there right now. You can go and look at it. Since we're pre-recorded, it's another perk to pre-recording is everything gets up in advance, so you don't have to wait for me to finish talking and then do all of that. I will meet you back here on Monday. I hope you get out and have a great weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday, just a few minutes after noon.